Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Kettleson Cooking Show. On today's show, we're going to be talking about carrots. How to really make a nice, simple side dish for your family using just baby carrots, a little bit of brown sugar, and a little bit of butter. We're also going to be talking about life. We're also going to be talking about family, football, and finance. So come on, enjoy. First thing we're going to need to do is get some stuff here. So we're going to need a bag of baby carrots. You can buy these baby carrots anywhere. I like to get them in the house. We're going to need a little bit of butter. And then what we're going to need is a little bit of brown sugar. Remember, whatever we learn when cooking, sugar and fat taste good. I use just regular old brown sugar. Perfect. Now, people ask me about baby carrots. They say, what's the difference between a baby carrot and a regular carrot? Well, there is no doubt that baby carrots don't have the taste that a regular carrot has. However, for convenience, there is nothing better than baby carrots. And I do this little dish for my kids all the time, and they absolutely love it. With the baby carrots, you can do one of two things. When you cut the baby carrot, you can either do it in half like this, and this is what I usually do, or you can take it and just leave it like this. You can just take it and leave it full. The other thing you can do is do it in little dimes. And you end up with like these little circles like this. Girls like those too. The fancy way to do it, of course, is if you take it like this and you make it into squares. And this takes a long time, so I never do this unless it's something that's really fancy and I'm trying to do a really fancy party. In this case, most of the time I'd use real carrots too. I'd use ones that I'd have to shred. But then I can do these and make these little squares. Now those little squares look great on the plate, but they're way too long to do. So we'll just take this here. I'm just going to do them lengthwise. I'm just going to cut them lengthwise. Now this is an interesting thing because I usually don't like to ever reach my hand across the knife when I'm cutting, except when I'm cutting baby carrots, like this. Wow, it's been an interesting couple of weeks since our last show. You know, the thing that's really been on my mind is just working for people and bosses, you know. My daughter is in college and she has this part-time job, and it's a retail job. And she was working there, and you know, her finals are coming up, and so she really can only work 20 hours a week. But at this place, because it's the Christmas season and they're you know, trying to get their things in and get all their sales in, they were asking her to work 38 hours a week. Well, let's say they were scheduling her 38 hours a week. Now, she felt terrible about this because she liked the job. She always does a good job. And she just didn't want to burn any bridges or really confront the situation. So I encouraged her to talk to her boss. She talked to her boss, and her boss said, hey, we really need you right now, you know. We need you 38 hours a week. And Genevieve said, hey, listen, I only signed on for 20 hours a week. So she asked me, Dad, what should I do? And I said to her, Genevieve, whenever you're in a situation like this, if you feel like your employer's being unreasonable or not listening to you, you gotta do something. You can't just stay in that situation. And now this wasn't a situation where there was a harassment where I would tell her to quit immediately. Or if you're in a situation like this, you know, you don't have to quit immediately if you're working for somebody who's not listening to you or not paying attention or is just, quite frankly, not being kind. But you got to do something about it. So she put in her 2 weeks notice. And what's funny is she put in the 2 weeks notice for Saturday. And instead of just stopping the schedule on Saturday, they decided to work her on Sunday as well. And I told her, no, it's perfectly all right for you to say, hey, listen, I gave you my 2 weeks notice. Quite frankly, I said Saturday, you put me on the schedule for Sunday, I'm not coming to work on Sunday. She's got studying to do and finals. But it's just a really difficult situation. And I encourage all of you, if you're working for somebody that you don't like, or that's not listening to you, or that's not being kind to you, you got to do something about it. And that doesn't mean do something about it right away. That doesn't mean go in and have a huge blowout, but you got to do something about it. Some of these baby carrots, you'll see, they have this like little green thing on the top. Don't worry about that. You can actually put that in there. I don't, I just cut it off. And then I just throw it in the incinerator and we go forward from there. But I really think that in life, it's so short. You gotta do what you like, or you gotta work for people that you like. Because there's just too many places out there where people work for people that are just not kind, selfish, and just horrible leaders. I mean, we've all worked for those kind of people before. I'm gonna save those for me to eat for lunch. Okay, so now I got my carrots cut. Right here, I put some water on to boil. Now, you know, generally this is about 2 cups, 2.5 cups of water. It doesn't have to be precise. You could just put it wherever you like. I don't cover them. I just take them in nice boiling water, got a nice bubble, and I'm just gonna put them in. I'm gonna pump up the jam there on that heat and get that to a situation where it's going pretty good. These are gonna be good for my sandwich today. I can't tell you how much I really empathize with my daughter there this week when she was telling me about her situation. I can't, as a father, you know, you think to yourself, well, I want to be there, I want to support my daughter, but I also want her to learn because she is in college and she's going to have situations in her life where she's going to have to deal with situations that are, well, not always the best and make those judgments. I just hope that all of you out there and her realize that we can make it, you can make it. Keep fighting, keep going, keep trying, but never let an employer or a boss that is clearly doing what's best for them take advantage of you. That's just not acceptable, especially with so many opportunities out there in the United States right now. This week, my business appointments took me to the lovely Inglewood neighborhood on the south side of Chicago. Now, you might hear that say, you know, wow, that's a tough neighborhood, and there's a lot of stuff written about it and talked about, but I see those people, and man, I read a story about a police officer taking into a couple of kids that were living in a house, and all they've done for those children, and I see the spirit of those people, and I just think to myself, man, this is a wonderful country, and every one of us is responsible for really making it the best place we could possibly make it. So I encourage all of you, if you have a neighborhood or a section of your town or city that quite frankly isn't considered the best part of town, go in there, shop at the businesses, meet the people, because what you're going to find is that people are people, and they're wonderful people, and take advantage of the situation to meet somebody and touch somebody that you haven't really talked to or connected with. Anyways, I really enjoyed my time in Pullman and Inglewood this week. The next thing we're going to need for this is a fry pan. So a lot of people say to me, Jim, we got boiling water, right? There's some times that we take water and we start it from cold water, like when we're doing mashed potatoes, because we want the potato to cook fully. But with carrots or any other vegetable like this, which we're just blanching, what we want to do is cook that rawness out of it. We don't want it mushy. We want it still to be solid, but we want to make sure that we cook that rawness out of it. This dish is a wonderful dish, especially if you have smaller children. Now, I will tell you this, though. It's kind of funny, because my brother, he and his family live up in Minnesota. He has been telling my family that he has been allergic to carrots for years. Now, I don't think he's allergic to carrots. I just think that he's always had carrots that were, quite frankly, mushy, bland, didn't have a lot of flavor in them, and really didn't have the taste that you want. Even with this bag of baby carrots, we can make these carrots pretty tasty. We just have to know our little secrets, and our little secrets always come back to sugar and fat taste good. Sugar and fat taste good. So we got these carrots, and they've been on now for a couple minutes. They're starting to look like they're cooking through. Remember, we do not want them mushy. We want them firm, but we want them to have all that raw flavor out of them. This time, what I'm going to do is put this little fry pan on here. I'm going to put it on medium. I'm going to put it on about 5, okay? And what I want to do is I want to get some butter down in there. Now, this is the fat part about it. Now, people say to me, Jim, You know, you use a tablespoon of butter. Wow, is that too much butter? What's going on with this butter? I heard that butter was bad for you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that a little bit of fat in your food is very, very good for you. And if a little bit of butter is causing your cholesterol to go crazy, I'm the fool. Because I look at the food that most of us eat, and it's so saturated in fat. This little bit of butter, or for that matter, salt at home, isn't going to spike your cholesterol or your sodium levels to crazy levels. In fact, this is what's going to make your food taste good, and your family is going to have time to really enjoy their time they spent together. These carrots look about perfect. So we see that they're not mushy, they're nice and firm. We're going to take them like this, I'm going to take them like this, and I'm just going to dump out that water. See, you can even hear, they're not so mushy that you can't still hear them cracking against the side of this. Okay, I got that good. Dry it out. Now I'm going to take these carrots, I'm going to put them right in here. Now I have my butter in there. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. So I'm going to take my salt. I don't know, a half tablespoon or so. We want to make sure that that salt tastes nice and brings out that flavor. And we're just going to add a touch of pepper here. We don't want to kill this with pepper. But we do want that little bit of pepper to give that character. And we got that, and that looks really good. Now here's the secret ingredient to this, and this is what really, if you've got kids, or even adults, and depending on what kind of dish you're doing, like chicken or some kind of pork, this is a wonderful dish because the spiciness of the carrots just makes it feel and taste wonderfully. It really does a nice job of adding it. So now I'm just going to take my sugar. I'm going to take it and just dump it in. Notice I like to kind of freehand this, depending on, I got my bag set up so I can't dump too much sugar in there. Now I got my little bit of brown sugar, I have my butter. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to just mix it around a little bit. Oh, this is going to look delicious. I know that my neighbor, Griffin, he loves this dish. He absolutely loves this little dish with this butter and this brown sugar. It does taste wonderful. Now I'm going to take my bowl out because I'm getting ready. Notice I didn't overcook the carrots. I just blanched them. A little bit of butter, a little bit of brown sugar, salt and pepper. Now I have this wonderful side dish that'll go along with just about anything I make. And in the wintertime especially, this one is just absolutely fabulous. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I just want to thank everybody for watching my episode. This dish right here can be served with any kind of meat, any kind of main dish. It's a wonderful little side dish. If you want to fancy it up, you can make the corn into little cubes. If you want to keep it simple like I do it, I just do it in sticks so my kids can eat it. But I hope that each and every one of you really goes out and loves. And if you are working in a situation where, quite frankly, you're working for somebody that you don't like, isn't kind, isn't the kind of person that you would have your daughter work for, I ask you to go out there and take action. Change the situation. Doesn't mean go in there and quit right away, but take action. Go out there and find a new job. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of people out there that are wonderful to work for, wonderful to be with. And all I ask you to do, as I ask you on every episode, is to love each other. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.